Hi, I'm muting everyone. Um, this recording is on. Okay, so this was a good bounce on June 22nd. The current time frame here is 1 day scale. So this is a retest, but now the thing is, now I'm wondering how many times it's going to retest this level. Yesterday I thought maybe it's okay to come up to S5 because it wouldn't harm. It went down a little below today when I woke up and saw this, and I said okay, not good of course, because this was this was kind of acceptable, and then a bounce was expected from here on. In fact it did, but got rejected. Now my stand is this is weaker than last week, of course, but I'm wondering why it stopped here on May 19th, because this is a support as well. So it's not matter of hope, but can this be a support, a retest support, which something we have to wait and see. But to me, this has to be the last one. So this came down, went up, got rejected by S4.2, which is not a big surprise. What is not so good is the depth. And the depth up to here was okay, up to orange was okay, which is like 30990. To me, it's not that it cannot come down here for retesting, but this is the last one. I mean, I cannot think of a deeper one, because if it goes even deeper, I'm not so sure about this structure. This structure will collapse. We are likely to get lower low if it breaks below this red level, which is 30K, which is 19th May 19th level. So I would say don't assume anything, but from risk management point of view, this is the level, of course, the red level 30K, this is the level, and so on. I'll try to provide. So that day when I realized that 30K was at risk when it was here, I immediately provided this level as 6, right? 28755. And for a brief moment, it breached this one. This was quick intraday move and returned back. Not just returned back, but significant bounce from 28K to 30, 35K. This is not a small bounce. Now, I see this retest can actually could end up in recovery. So I'm not going to give up that way. I'm not going to assume. But I would say set your alert below this red line, which is 30K, and below this S6. So it depends, you want to take action in two step or one step, right? But this will be your point of decisions, I would say. Below 30K and below 28755. So if in case it goes down, I'll definitely provide lower support. The one bigger lower support is 22,255. I'm still not thinking of this. There is no need to. But we if we have to, I'll find out somewhere in between, right? But we'll see. or maybe if I'm online, I'll open a call and we'll monitor the situation, right? We cannot do much about price movement. What we are not seeing is the height. As I have been saying, I know probably you are also getting bored with this statement, and personally, I am too. It has been hitting supports, and it has been getting bounced from each and every support. In fact, in this one, let me drill down further more and show you the what is the behavior here. If you look at this one, when it bounced from S6, it got support here, okay, and then another support here, right? Retraced, fine. Rejected because this was resistance. Retraced, so got a support, nice bounce, broken above, and touched as 4.2 right here. What was not good is this depth. This is too deep. That's what my point, earlier point. It was okay to come down. This was the best case scenario to maintain this trend line. Like here, if you draw a trend line, so this was the best case scenario to go up, and then momentum would have been, retained. And in that case, it could have continued. But in some cases, it's okay to go deeper. But then this was the limit. Okay, and now it is near here. What I'm seeing here is this is the big bad one, and then it tried to recover, but again 4.4 has rejected it. So if you look at all these supports that you see, lines are playing their roles, and I mean, it's kind of a trap. So it's like playing around these levels up and down, but the movement is sideways. If you look at the big picture, it is moving horizontally. Now it is more on the lower side, but if you consider this is a peak or this is the bottom, right? This is a horizontal movement on an average. Today it's a little lower. That's why we are saying the risk is higher. But otherwise, Bitcoin has been moving sideways. So all this is like drama. There's nothing much to uh, get out of it in terms of direction, because it never crossed the required level, which was at least S4. This was much higher, but 42K was very important. We knew because it first got rejected at 42K after the first drop, major drop like this on May 19th. And since then, this is just noise. And I used to put a box, if you remember, black box, because anything in the black box is noise. And I removed it because one, of course, for analysis point of view, but as far as trader is concerned, there is nothing from Bitcoin as soon unless it breaks above S4 on the upside or it breaks below S6 on the downside. Excuse me. So from trader point of view, Bitcoin is not offering anything. However, it is actually bad for overall market because it's not Bitcoin. The Bitcoin is driving the alts, and many alts actually moved pretty good, and they were in momentum, especially in last 3 days or so. And they are all red for no reason. So even Bitcoin is not doing much, and it is range bound. It has been impacting all the other coins and their performance in a major way. So that's a bigger concern. Anyways, so as far as Bitcoin is concerned, at a lower time scale, I would say we are this is not looking so good. However, this was a support. The red is a support, 30K support, and right now, at this moment, it is trying to bounce. And this could be the recovery bounce, as I mentioned earlier. Now, what we need to see, wow, I like that. Somebody heard me as if, um, so if this bounce can continue and put this Bitcoin into this zone, okay, if it can come back, return back to this zone, because remember this was, I removed the yellow level somewhere here. If we can, if this price could end up in this zone, then it will be able to break above the previous rejection, and in that case the probability of reaching here will be very high, right? So for this drop to end, this move has to reach to this zone, at least near 4.1, and we are good, right? So right now I think the best thing is to watch. There's nothing else we could do. And as far as risk management is concerned, if it starts breaking below 30k and then 20 to 28755, you may start taking action, right, as per your risk plan, because it is possible that, like here, it tricked everyone. I immediately when I saw 30k and I saw some weird behavior, and open a live call, and live call I said this drop is not like a crash, because sometimes it's very hard to explain. It's just experience, in my opinion. And I don't know, I mean, it the only the live chart can offer um that kind of analysis, in my opinion. If it was not about pattern and not about indicator. When it was dropping, how it drops, how it is, it tells a lot. And when we were on Zoom call, we I said this drop, it doesn't look like a big crash, and then S6 worked out pretty well, right? So this must have tricked many, because so many people would have stopped out, got my must have hit the stop loss, their stop loss, because they would have stop loss below 30k, and they would be like in a really pains, because they would be probably waiting for whole entire consolidation, and they would have stopped based on this level, and they must have sold. And it was not just long, but it's really bad for even short to anyone who tried to short here, saying that 30k is broken below, would have also hurt badly, because this would have liquidated their position as well. So even short would have burned their fingers. So the long would have sold in panic, and short would have liquidated in this case, because this is a quick V-shaped recovery if you look at, and this was not, but this was detected when we were on Zoom call. Anyways, my point is, it is all there can be surprises. So it is possible. I'm not saying it is always the case. It is possible that it breaks below red, it breaks below S6, and still from somewhere like here, it goes up, which we don't know at this moment, and nobody knows. Nobody can claim to know whether it will continue below S6 in a big way, or it will bounce the way it is bounced. But when it is here, with experience, we can figure out. So I'm going to open a call if I'm online. If in just in case if it goes below, then we should be able to figure out, in my opinion, like we did here. So that's something I'm just saying on record, that it's not that because S6 is broken below, it's doomsday. The way this Bitcoin is going down is not crashing that defenders, as if so when it break below this one, the defender came in, the bull came in, so to speak, and bought and pushed the price up. Of course, they were not able to take all the way up, but this was very positive sign in my point of view. If it has to crash, it would have crashed here, because to me this level was retested here, and then coming back to this one and not breaking below in a big way, because this is nothing. This was quick intraday move, and this kind of behavior is not so usual. Okay, usually it goes little deeper, because the whole entire setup would actually take this kind of breakdown further below. It didn't happen, and then buyers came in. And so my point is, nobody knows the future, but with a mix of technical analysis which we are offering here, and a mix of good risk management. Okay, where what is good risk management is never assume, and never like many things, but couple of main thing is, it is here, don't panic and don't assume that it's going to break below. It also doesn't mean that everything is good. It also doesn't, it is not about hope. It is simply means that it is right now following these lines. If you look at, and right now even if you look at lower time scale, it got rejected by orange, it's trying to climb up and so on. We don't know whether it's really going to break below. What we are doing is we are taking decision based on price. So our our stand is level dependent. It is more like conditional. So it's like this: you have a road. If there is a red signal, you stop for a while. Until when? Until it turns green, right? Something like that. So the road is not broken. The road has no roadblocks, but you stop. Why? There is a red signal. The road is not busy at all. Road, you are midnight, like driving midnight, no traffic, still there is a red sign. You stop it. So there is nothing to do with road. It is just a condition that let you stop, make you stop, right? So that red signal would would stop you. So the direction is still the same, but the red stop is the roadblock in a way, right? But it's a condition, so you follow. There are some conditions, so we don't have. I personally don't never say I am bull. I never say I'm bullish or bearish, because to me, and this is 24 by 7 market. Yeah, you can talk about trend, that's another thing, but you cannot say at this lower time scale, 1 hour scale. So let me clarify. On a weekly scale, you can say that you are bearish, or trend is bearish or bullish, but on 1 hour it is next to impossible, because it changes a lot. So that's one thing. So right now if you look at it, this looks really bad, but what we need is a quick bounce here. In 1 hour, 2 hour, the whole entire scenario could change. Like in fact this one, the whole entire scenario got changed. So why not? If there is a quick push on the upside, the whole entire scenario would change and be in the, so there is no need to sell here in panic, but to have a plan when to sell, by what percentage, it must be there for sure. So no panic, no expectation. I think let these levels drive your decision in my point of view. Okay, and because it is following the levels, these are not random levels, and it's not behaving randomly at all. Only thing is it's not behaving in a way we want it to. Otherwise the behavior, so there are two things. One is it is not doing as expected from profit point of view, but it is doing exactly as per all the technical levels. So both arguments are true. At this moment it is giving bounce, got rejected here, came down, got rejected. Everything is technical, right? Anyway, so the point is, um, here you're getting all the analysis, but keeping there are other aspects that about psychological aspects and risk management are so important in times like this, because there is no many people just get panic, and there is reason for them to be panic, of course, but it doesn't help. So that's my take on a weekly scale and everything. I think it looks horrible. We'll zoom out and see. I'll hide the drawing. So it looks horrible, and one would say this is left shoulder and head and right shoulder. I don't disagree, that and we talked about that a few weeks ago, many, when we were talking about this left shoulder, right shoulder, and this head, and this is a child one, and this is a parent one, and so on. Only thing is, I'm not paying too much of attention or weightage on this pattern at this moment. My focus is the pattern within this structure, not the overall. That's the only difference. So I'm not ignoring. Only thing is, my weightage on this overall pattern is lower than my weightage on a local pattern. So to me, if the local pattern is improved, it can override the higher pattern. It's like this. If there is a volcanic eruption, one way is to sit outside far away and observe the steam or other things, and then predict that what might happen, maybe tremors and some other characteristic. Another way is to deep dive, if it is possible. Let's say it's feasible. Same with, so if you deep dive in the mountain and see what is the real thing happening inside, what you get is the early, more data, first of all, and early detection that it is really going to erupt, or it is just, it could be a borderline case. Of course, it requires more like that kind of eyes and technique and skill as well to find out what is happening. Another example is like all the tornado we see, right? They fly plane through the tornado, they go up into the tornado, right? And then find out why. Because they collect more data, they want to see what is happening near the eye of the tornado, and they try to find out inside, like whatever humidity factor or the wind speed or that how many layers and all the characteristics you could think of, and they want to find out whether it is steaming out or not, how much steam it has left for it to continue, whether it will landfall or it will continue the same direction, so on. So they drive into the tornado and find out more data. Why? So they can get insight first, and then it is helpful for them to project the big picture. So going inside to that tornado by flying into is just to get more data to find out with the overall outcome with more accuracy. I'm doing the same. So this is like a storm which we are seeing, and right shoulder looks really scary, but we are not focusing on that for a reason, because I want our we are flying into the tornado, near the eye of the tornado, and trying to find out what is happening. And this is what we are seeing right now. And to me, if this balance is retained when it comes back, then the overall pattern will also improve. So I'm not saying there is no storm, but if the storm doesn't landfall, then it's not a storm for us to concern. You see what I'm saying? It could go away. Maybe it's not a perfect analogy, but I think it's the closest one I could think of just now. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm not ignoring that the big picture is weak and big picture hasn't improved. But when I see that the inner structure is not broken, I would not call out that we are doomed. So it's not about hope, it's just about balance and the things that I'm seeing. Okay. So that's my take and analysis on Bitcoin. We can have a quick look at 1 month. I mean, it's not going to be pretty. It's not pretty at all. So if you look at monthly, it's horrible. There's no doubt about it. So we will not talk about it. Monthly, uh, weekly is also bad. And if somebody is taking decision based on these candles and all, might regret in a big way. We are not neither are going to assume that everything is okay, and nor we are going to assume that we have a big opportunity here. In any ways, we're going to take decision based on levels. So that's my analysis right now. Okay, so let's see how the strength of this bounce. Let's see the volume here. Volume has been declining. Now I'm going to open my indicator, which I kept it handy, and we'll see how the indicator is doing. Maybe I'll stop this recording and then start a new session.